Hey everyone, welcome back to GenAI Vlog. So in this session, we're going to be talking about agentic AI. Now, me personally, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the word agentic. I actually prefer the word multi-agent. So for the rest of this video, when I say multi-agent, I'm actually talking about agentic design. The motivation for me to create this video is actually coming from this short course I'm taking from deeplearning.ai. Here is a huge nod to Andrew Ng, as well as in collaboration with Microsoft and Penn State. I'm actually looking into this class. I think it's a great class. If you're interested in this kind of design, this is a great resource for you. The good thing about the class is actually provide some sort of API guidance. I actually walk you through different tutorials as what I'm about to do in this video. The package we're going to use today is actually called Alto Gen. It's actually a package from Microsoft. This is the source code. I've been reading this. I think it's a very interesting concept. It essentially allow you to develop LLM-based agents for you to command using natural language. You can use human command using natural language and have agents to start a conversation, to invoke certain actions, certain activities, so on and so forth. So in this video, we're gonna actually design two agents to talk to each other. Maybe they can tell jokes about each other, things like that. So let's turn to the Colab notebook. This is the notebook I've been running. I've been using Google Colab. First things first is you want to install PyAutoGen package. And then don't forget your API key, right? Once that's done, you can define a config file for your large language model. And this JSON file actually becomes an input argument for this function here called a conversible agent. Now, of course, there are other actions that we're going to talk about in future videos, but for the sake of this video, we're only going to be focusing on conversible agent. So with that being said, you can then create this agent that becomes a function. You can then say generate reply. For example, here say tell me a joke, and you'll be able to reply as a joke. So let me run that function for you. There you go. Sure, here's a joke for you. Why couldn't the bicycle find its way home? Because it lost its bearings. So this is a standard API call to OpenAI's large language model. In this case, we're using GPT 3.5 Turbo, and we're gonna build upon that. So this is the one agent, right? We have one reply here based on one command, and that is it. Now, we want to be able to do more upon that. And on top of that, we want to have two agents, right? So here we can take the same agent and then we can say repeat a joke. And then we run the code, you'll say, sure, just let me know which joke you'd like me to repeat. And then you're able to kind of continue the conversation that way from one sentence to another. Now, once we understand this framework a little bit, now we can take this conversible agent and kind of define that using different prompt engineer to give a different personality or different persona. What I mean by that is this. Here, we can call this function conversible agent, and we can actually define an object called Kathy and another object called Joe. Kathy here is based on this line of description. Your name is Kathy and you are a stand-up comedian. Whereas conversible agent here, Joe, is based on this description here that says your name is Joe and you are a stand-up comedian. And then on top of that, you want to start the next joke from the punchline of the previous joke. So this second sentence here give you that capability to have one conversation linked with the previous one. So what I mean by that is the following. You can initiate a chat, say Joe is starting to initiate a chat. Let's run that code. And here you can see the recipient of this function is actually Kathy, whereas Kathy is actually defined as another agent. And the message here says, I'm Joe. Kathy, let's keep the jokes rolling. And here I set max return to be 2 just simply because we want this to end eventually. But if I set this to a large number, let's say 10, it will continue to run line by line until it hits that number 10. So let's say if we can follow up with the conversation a little bit, right? Let's see, I'm Joe. Kathy, let's keep the jokes rolling. Kathy says, hey, Joe, why don't skeletons fight each other? they don't have the guts. And then Joe says, that's a good idea, Kathy, but as a stand-up comedian, I think skeletons are just too bony to throw a punch. Haha, good point, Joe. Maybe they're just too bare bone for a fight. Exactly, Kathy. It's like a bare bones battle out there. That's right, Joe. It's tough crowd when you're just a bag of bones. So something like this seems interesting, right? It kind of gives you the idea how conversation flows. And we're not really doing anything too complicated. We are having one agent invoke another. And that's really it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like.